I sent it to Dr. Redmond. I sent it to you. I sent it to Christine.
Good morning, everybody.
Hi.
It's 10 o'clock on March 11th and we're here for the policy meeting. We can get some stuff good to go here.
Chair, may I make a motion to amend the agenda, please?
Yeah, what do you want to do?
Add 002. I make a motion to move 002 to the policy committee meeting.
Okay, do I have a second?
A second.
All right,
Thank you.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, I guess we'll add 002. Do you want it here in the beginning or do you want it at the end?
It's completely up to you. It's just that it's ready to go for your final comments.
Okay, why don't we put it at the end of our meeting?
Okay, thank you.
I'll tell you what, we'll do policy 915 because that one's been on our plate for a while. And then we'll do 002 after that.
Oh, okay, so it'll be number 2.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, policy 915, relations with the PTO booster. Christine did a good job and finally got all of their bylaws and stuff in. There was some stuff changed in here that we had discussed prior. Has everybody had a chance to look at it?
Yeah, I have not.
Okay,
May I make a comment, please?
yeah,
I was reading a different policy and I'm sorry, I don't have my laptop open. But there is a policy that we have, and I didn't write down the numbers in my, it does state in our policy, in a different policy, that all booster clubs and PTOs shall have a presence on the KCSD webpage. And it doesn't state it in here, I don't believe. But we do have a policy, a different policy that does state it, and I did find it. So I just wanted to make everyone aware of that it does say shall have a presence on the KCSD webpage.
I believe they have a presence on the webpage, do they
Well, okay,
not?
I don't remember seeing it in this particular policy, the 915, but I just want to let you know that I found it in a separate policy. So I'll be
Well,
honest with you, I didn't double check. There's nothing in the legal section on the last page that takes you to that policy.
all right,
and-
well, if it's, the policy is 915 has been here. If you're looking at a different policy somewhere, we'd have to see that.
Yes, I can email it to everyone after my.
It's kind of late because we're gonna move this forward now.
Well, if it's okay with everyone, this afternoon, I can email everyone the policy number. And then if you so choose, you can put that policy number at the very end of the legal section where it says it shall have a web presence.
Well, I think we can make sure it has a web presence and update it then.
Okay, well, I'll still email everyone the policy number, web presence. I'm just making a note. Apologies for not having that printed out.
Okay. Well, John, you haven't read or checked out the policy then?
No, I have not seen this one.
Okay. Then at this point in time, all I can say is we move it forward to first read.
Okay, I'm fine with that, with the exception that I'll email you the policy number, everyone, John, Dr. Redmond, Christine, and the chair, Chris. Okay? I have a note here.
So Christine, let's move that one forward, okay? To first read.
And Chair, I'm sorry I didn't email this to you yet. It's on my laptop. This is, I don't know if anyone wanted this or not. This is the PTA's, you had asked me about that, the draft bylaws on the Pennsylvania I didn't know if the current PTOs had a copy of this, or do you want me to email this to you and share it or not?
Is that PTA or
Yeah.
PTO?
So
Well-
remember, those are different things.
Yeah,
PTA
they're
is required.
absolutely different. So if we have a PTO, there's no need.
There is no PTO anymore. It's just PTA according to the state. So, okay.
All right, let's move forward. 002. Go ahead, Elizabeth. You wanted to add this in.
Yes, I emailed, Secretary Christine, Dr. Redmond, members, Chair Chris, and, John of the Policy Committee meeting. And these are all the edits in red that we had talked about. And I also double checked the links, to those particular sections. You'll see there's a strike through in some of them, simply because I couldn't find anything in those policies or legislation that actually talked about that. So,
I remember I did read this.
so the only thing that I didn't change, I mean, nothing was really changed except for on page 2. In the first paragraph, all recommended curriculum and textbook contract renewals and applicable technology shall be reviewed by the board curriculum committee and then brought to the board for approval. The board shall adopt courses of study, curriculum, and textbooks in the district schools. When I read the legislation, yes, the board does approve those, and it's the superintendent that makes recommendations to the board. But I put in the curriculum committee unless you want me to put in superintendent.
But what do you mean by that?
Well, if you wanted some extra text in there stating that, taken from the legislation that, or not, that the superintendent makes recommendations to the board, but it's in the legislation, so, and then it's the school board that approves. So,
Well, if it's gonna be discussed in the curriculum committee, the curriculum committee, what a committee does is goes over the information, weeds it down, and then brings it to the board for discussion.
okay, because it would all be vetted through the superintendent anyways before it came to the curriculum committee.
Right.
So, does that sound
So,
good?
yeah, I'm okay with
Okay.
that, those updates.
Okay. And the only other text I took, in the next paragraph, it just had ARs and I added BOGs, Board Operating Guidelines. So that was
Right,
just,
I saw
okay.
that.
And the next one, that first line, the public school system of the Commonwealth shall be administrated by the Board of School Directors. I took that straight out of the legislation, link number 3.
Okay,
And like I said, the only other things were, I couldn't find, like I said, you see where I struck through policy 100 and policy 000 because I couldn't find actual links. So that's really the only,
all right, so it's just cleaning the policy up.
yeah,
So I would like to, because there's some things, it's might be a significant change in some of these things.
Sure.
I'd like to have David Lindsay look at this,
yes.
just to get his advice, just to make sure everything's square from his
I
perspective.
like that idea. Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
thank you, Dr. Redmond.
Mhm.
So review
So
by,
Christine, let's put this on hold until Dr. Redmond has the solicitor look at it. And then we can bring it back at the next policy meeting and move forward with it from there.
that'd be great. So policy in April. Okay. Thank you.
You okay with that, Christine? All right. So next one is 005 organization.
Mm-hmm.
We went through this one. Christine printed me out her stuff on this.
Would you like some explanations on the red text or?
Yeah, if you would.
Yes, okay. Under order, I put in brackets, check. And I did check it, but if anyone else wants to check it, please do. Because when I read the links, it doesn't say by the current president or vice, well, I'll start from the beginning of the sentence. This is the organization meeting, which is December, shall be called to order
Yeah,
by
I see
any
it.
holdover member of the board. In the legislation, it does not say by the current president or vice president of the outgoing board, and that's where we got into that problem in December. That's why I looked this up,
Right,
because the president, former vice president did not,
show up to the meeting.
oh, no, they didn't get reelected, or they weren't on the ballot. They didn't get
Right.
elected in.
Right.
So, but in
But
the
they didn't
legislation, it
show
says
up
any
for the last
holdover.
meeting of the year either.
Yep. So that's why that section changed. And then the other text is just taken again from the legislation. Okay, and that's page 1. Page 2, under item bullet number 3, the very last paragraph. I won't read the whole section, but it's just the text that's there now is in black. The secretary shall be compensated in the manner at the rate determined by the board. That's legislation. But then in red, I wrote the amount of which shall be reported annually to the superintendent and be printed in his or her report. Now, I have no idea what that meant. It's just from the legislation. So I'll leave that up to you, Dr. Redmond.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble finding what you're looking at, and because I'm looking at the attachment that you put on your email, and I'm not seeing anything red on the attachment.
Oh, no, that's, oh,
This is what you attached to the
oh
email,
my gosh.
so I'm not
so
seeing this
sorry.
thing.
I will email it to you again because I see what I did. I emailed the original
Yeah.
current. I'm so sorry. Is that what I did to you too?
Yeah, that's right. That's the only thing that was on the email. is-
My mistake.
So we're in the policy meeting now.
Mhm.
We gotta put this one on hold again then?
We'll have to because I sent the wrong one. It sounds like I can't use my laptop because of the security issue, so. Ah.
Well, I guess we'll put 005 on hold again.
Sorry, my fault.
Do you have a copy of what you want to do that you can share with him right there?
Yeah. Huh?
Well, we can go, if you want to pause for a second, I can just go make a couple of copies.
Can you do that real quick? We'll just pause for just a second.
I'm so sorry.
Just wait.
Yeah, let's move on to policy 006. Meetings. That way we're not just sitting here.
Yeah,
Okay, well, I wrote in an email to you this morning. It became much more extensive, so I don't have a solidified draft ready for you.
Then why are we having this stuff on the agenda if we're not ready to discuss it and go over it?
We thought we would be, but we failed to meet that objective. So, but it's pretty much done. This one, well, I'm sorry, this will have to be put into next month also.
But we might as well just cancel this whole meeting.
No, what?
Every month we keep delaying things on to the next month. We've got to get this stuff done.
Mhm.
Let's go through 006 and see what it is that everybody feels needs gone over. Because we have a lot to do.
Okay, page 2. Did I send you the right, No, you don't have this
No,
one.
you didn't send.
Yep, because it was
006
not
letter.
done. It's not done.
Okay.
Thank you so much. There's a it's 14 pages of text. So,
14 pages of text in 006.
yep. It's actually 15, but who's counting the last one? It's only a half page.
All right, let's put that one on hold also.
Do you want to go back to 005?
Sure. Let's go back to 005.
Like I said, page 2, you have it in front of you, page 2. Now that Dr. Redmond has a copy. Bullet item number 3, I just took that text from the legislation. The amount of which shall be reported annually to the superintendent and be printed in per his report. And then under the next one, vacancies in any office shall be filled by board election per policy 004. I don't know why it's in the section, but it's in there. So I just wrote that note. Why is it in this section? It's whatever.
Well, because it's in local board procedures.
Okay, so we'll keep that.
A
Okay.
vacancy in any office will be filled by board election.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we keep that in there, just
So if
remove,
we have a vacancy, we need to fill it.
okay, yep. So just crossed out the bracketed, why is this in this section? That sounds great. And then page 3, under appointments, for some reason, the original current appointments has bullet. Number 3 is a completely separate bullet where it says for the effective use of time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I removed the third bullet and just took the text and added it to the appropriate number 2. Nothing changed in the text. It's just that it's technically not an appointment. We're not appointing someone unless you think it's an appointment. It
Oh, I
just,
see what you're saying. So number 3 should actually be, so the way in the current policy,
Oh, yeah.
number 3
Mhm.
should be part of number 4. I'm sorry, number 2.
Right. I mean,
Yeah,
it's sort
that
of a
makes it right. Yeah,
descriptor.
it is. I agree. Mhm.
Okay, so that's the text did not change. It's just that
Just
it
moved.
moved.
Yeah.
Okay. And then under the new number 3, the draft number 3, I just put the word secretary and or assistant secretary simply because the board can appoint a secretary, but the legislation is an addition. Besides, the secretary is in a separate link, but this means the assistant secretary is actually the text of link 19.
Right. Yeah,
So,
text 19 mentions an assistant secretary.
right, but then in a different link, that's written here, but in a different link, it says the treasurer, the secretary, the solicitor, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, and then, I just wrote in here, why is this line in here? Underneath that. It says, the link number 15 goes to policy 006. And to be honest with you, I did not read policy 006 and found exactly where it's linking to. Now, of course, the board may or may not, depending on what the majority wants to do, they can get rid of any appointee that they want to. I'm recommending it stay in there. But I'm just saying, at glancing in, I couldn't find it, but I'm in 006.
I think that's an important part.
Oh,
And it
absolutely.
should stay in there.
Absolutely. That's why I have a note in the draft 006 to make sure that that line is actually in 006. Okay?
Yep.
So that's why I have that little note in there. Check policy 006. So that's staying in there. That's just a personal note. And then, page number 4, committee shall consist of no more than 3 members. I just added the word, or one or the other, I added the word 3 with then 3 and the numeral 3 in brackets, just so it's consistent with the rest of it. It's really not a big deal.
Doesn't, let me look here.
Well, that's not a substantive, I mean, that's
No,
an easy.
yeah,
we don't
it's
need-
just a,
we
yeah,
can
just
make
a
that change.
textual thing. And then page 5, just to clean it up and remove some text, where it says examples of potential standing committees, I just crossed out the word meeting. It just didn't make any sense. It's no big deal. And I-
That's just cleaning it
Yep.
up. I have no problem with that.
Yep. And then, IT used to be a committee with curriculum, I believe, but then I put, the finance auditing and IT committee. So but again, these are just examples. It doesn't say shall have. These are just examples.
Well, I think that IT should be involved in the finance committee meeting, because we do talk a lot about programs we're buying and
Okay,
all kinds of stuff. And as I said in the last meeting, I think if we're buying any technology at all, IT should have a spot in that, making sure it works with our systems and,
They do, right? That all happens in the background. That's not necessarily a committee thing.
okay.
This is the section of 006 that's relevant to why it's linked in there. It's because it says actions requiring affirmative votes of the majority, and it includes appointing somewhere in here is the secretary.
getting rid of.
What are you talking about?
It's
Oh,
just, it's
that
just
link.
the link
Thank you.
is,
I'll look at that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's what
That's
that is.
helpful. Then, 3 paragraphs down after bullet number 6, took out that the vice president, took out, no board member shall chair more than one standing committee. And also the vice president could be chair now. And the reason I think that's a good recommendation is simply because we understand that people work, and we understand that for staff, it's usually best if the meetings are during the day.
Mhm.
So we have multiple people serving on different committees, and but a lot of them are the same people, which is fine, because we have so many new people. So I think that's a good idea. Let any board member that the board president appoints, if they want to volunteer on that committee and there's no one else, I don't think we should hamper that. And I think the vice president,
Well, I've always been on more than one committee. as
yes,
chair,
it's just,
so-
that's why, it's just a reflection of what
Right.
we actually do. And then, the board president isn't going to be a chair, just like it stands now, but this would give the vice president an opportunity to be a chair if the committee so chooses to vote them in.
Yeah, the committee members have the say-so.
Yeah, yeah. So this would just allow the vice president to be a potential candidate for a chair of a committee if the committee so chooses, with the understanding the vice chair can always say no, thank you.
Okay, now what happens if for some reason you're out or step down from president and the vice president moves in or steps in for you, then what?
Well, then the vice president won't be the chair of the committee anymore.
Isn't that gonna throw everything into a big upside down turmoil?
I don't know why. You just go to the next meeting and you appoint a new chair, right?
Okay,
Okay, and then,
All right.
then under consultants, I just took out the text not normally required. The sentence reads, the board may appoint, employ, or retain consultants to provide the district with specialized services. That's legislation. But not in the legislation, just say not normally required on a continuing basis. So I just took that text out. That's all. It just says the board may appoint, and that's legislation. I really didn't think that
I
was
don't
a
have a
big.
problem with that.
Okay,
I think the distinction that's there. And of course, I wasn't here when this policy was created or adopted, is that specialized services that are required on a continuing basis, maybe the consideration was they should be hired by the district and not just a consultation kind of a model.
Oh, I don't understand.
So right now it says the board may appoint, employ, or retain consultants to provide the district with specialized services not normally required on a continuing basis.
Mhm.
So, for instance, we have to do a staffing study, or we have to do a comprehensive plan redo. In the past, the board has chosen to hire a consultant to do that
Right.
work because it's something that doesn't happen all the time, and you can hire specialized services that will do that. And so I think that's why that rider is in there, that not normally required on a continuing basis.
Okay,
Things that happen on a continuing basis, we typically don't have consultants that are always here dealing with things on a continuing basis. So I think that's why that line was in there. Does it need to be? I don't know. But that my guess is that's why that chunk is in there. Is to,
whatever you folks think, my whole goal is to make these as short as possible. Well, keeping the legislation in there.
Or retain consultants.
I'm either here nor there, whatever you want to do.
I'm okay with leaving it in there. I
Okay.
see what Frank is saying,
Keep
that
it, yep,
that could be a stipulation.
yep. Okay, we got that one done.
Wow.
And then nothing else changed in the last three paragraphs, except, oh, I'm so sorry, there was one. I just updated this in the third to last paragraph, or the next paragraph, however you want to. The function of a consultant shall be to make studies. And then the only word I added was slash audits, because we do hire consultants to do audits. Studies and audits can be used interchangeably.
Yeah.
But so I didn't, but a lot of people don't know
I don't
that.
have a problem with that.
I don't think it's necessary, but what, I mean, right.
Okay, all right. Yeah, we got one done.
So then, again, there's some significant differences in parts of these. So again, this is probably something that the solicitor should look at.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea. And then when it comes back from the solicitor, do you want it to go to the policy committee or go to first read, or
It
what do you
needs
want?
to come back to
Come back to policy,
policy committee, so
okay.
we see it.
So come back to policy in April. Good.
Can you send this to us then?
Yes, I am so sorry.
No, thank you.
Don't get up at 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, don't worry, I won't.
Okay, 006 once again is on hold.
Email.
0061,
Not sure why this one is on here.
me either, but if we have not done 006, we can't do 0061 either.
They're not related.
Oh, they're
No,
not?
they're separate policies.
Okay,
It's just, there wasn't any room between 6 and 7, so they just put in a .1 there.
okay.
The only thing I was concerned about is just to make sure that, I know because of COVID, that's when they allowed people to go online. And,
Right.
but I just want to make sure that, I believe the legislation, don't quote me, please. I believe the legislation says the majority of the board shall be in the room, you know, for a meeting. And then,
Right.
so that means 5 people would have to be in the meeting, for the meeting to occur. But don't quote me on that. I'm just going by memory because but it be that as it may, I just want to make sure that anyone who feels that they want to Zoom in have every opportunity to be counted as a board member, so there's no constraints on them. There are some people that it's just, whether it's weather, illness, family. I just want to make sure there's no constraints on them. That's unnatural, that's unnecessary.
Okay, under the guidelines, it says a school director who attends a meeting through electronic communications shall be considered present only if the school director can hear everything said at the meeting
That's-
Mhm.
and
that's
those
law.
can hear everything, da.
That's law.
what if somebody just pops in for 5 minutes and then leaves? Are they counted as being here for the
You
meeting?
don't have to be here continuously.
That's what I thought. Okay.
And that's actually is a good point, Chair Chris, is that we've had that before where someone comes in and they vote and then they leave.
Yes.
Okay, I
But
can't,
how would you change that if a vote's already been done
well,
and then they leave?
Well, everything up to that point is valid, but once you lose quorum, you can't have a meeting anymore. That doesn't
Okay.
invalidate the work that was done.
That's what
while
I
the quorum was
thought, but I
present.
wanted to clarify it.
Yeah.
mhm.
Okay.
So looking at that link that they have in there, so the policy states in the
Thank you.
guidelines, a majority of school directors shall be physically present at a board meeting when a school director attends through electronic communications.
Mhm.
So then when I went to this link, it leads to section 422, which doesn't say anything about physical presence.
That's
So
it.
I'm not sure that that is a valid line anymore. I think since COVID, there's been an allowance for quorums to be established, even if you don't have a majority physically present.
Okay.
And I'll be honest with you, I've never liked that line because you never know if there's a storm or something. And for us to have to not have a meeting because we can't have 5 bodies sitting here, I think is unreasonable. If everyone has to be online or if 3/4 of them have to be online, let the meeting go. That's how, I mean, I would get rid of that.
Okay, which one do you want to cross out?
The part where it says you have to have the bodies sitting in the
Yeah.
room.
Under guidelines, it's the second paragraph, says a majority of school directors shall be physically present at a board meeting when a school director attends
Right.
through electronic communications. I don't think that's a requirement in the law anymore,
Thank you, Dr. Redden.
but I can certainly have David Lindsay look at that also, just to make sure we're not
Yeah, could be buried somewhere else,
setting
but
something up.
I couldn't find it.
I actually looked through a couple of laws last night that are in PA 1949. They're not,
Sorry.
the state legislation is not up to date with the current laws that are going on. I don't know how you'd get that changed to look up because there's a couple links that refer back to the COVID days and they've changed since then. I forget the one that you and I were talking about.
Mm.
What was that?
Oh, Lord,
Uh,
But I remember
they
the
need-
conversation.
They need to update it, so you'll have, David check that out.
Yes.
Yeah, like I said, on my periphery, I couldn't find it anywhere, but I'm not the expert.
And what's the group wish on that? If Lindsay says we don't need it, do we just go ahead and move that on for an update at the meeting? That we're removing that? Cause we don't have to vote on it and first read and all that mess to just make a change, correct?
Yeah, it's a short
Correct.
edit.
Yeah, and I don't know that I'll be able to get that turned around by tomorrow's meeting,
Okay,
just because he's
Yeah.
busy
All
with other
right.
things.
But I think I think Chris is right, is that then come April, we can just put it on the work session and then vote it in April.
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, as long as we can stay to where the electronic Zoom stays active.
Well, that's the thing. If, once a board member, if you're on Zoom, that's why I always ask Bill, can you hear me? Can you speak?
Mhm.
It's because of that legislation. And that's the thing. If the technology does go down, well, the meeting's no longer valid. It is what it is. We'll adapt.
All right, moving on to policy 007. The board secretary shall maintain an orderly plan, The superintendent or designee shall be responsible to review existing policy in light of board actions and revisions to state, federal statutes, regulations, and to recommend board policy changes necessary. I don't see any problem with that.
Yes, some policies say this board secretary, some say the superintendent. It's both. It doesn't, that is. part
Well,
of the
yeah, as long
superintendent.
as there's no changes,
No, it's just recommendations.
okay.
Yeah, I had no problem with I have no notes for that.
So we don't have
Alright.
any changes to it, then we can just
Yeah,
kind of let it go. No reason to bring it to the board because we're not making any changes to it, right?
Okay. Cause I know that Elizabeth and I have found where some things have changed and didn't know who did it or how it happened. But there's been a few times where some things change, so if there needs to be a change, it needs to be brought up
Yeah.
to us. Everybody good with that?
Just to clarify, the only thing that we would ever change without working through the board on a board policy is if it's like the three and the word three in front of the number three, something that doesn't change the intent or the content of the policy. It might just be
grammar.
a grammar thing or a gender thing or something like that, right? If it says he, or her, then we'll change that to them. Those kind of things don't change what the policy is doing. It's just kind of fixing the language of it without changing the meaning of it.
Okay. 009, formulation of policies, procedures. I really didn't see anything in here of big concern.
I remember that one.
It's the formulation of policies.
I don't, I'll be honest with you, I've been on the policy committee for, I don't ever even remember this one, talking about it.
Last time it came up was in 2021.
Yeah,
Yeah,
is this the most recent one? Do we know? 009? I mean, there's really nothing, there's like no links or anything.
the thing I had that when I read through this one at the very bottom,
Two.
on the first page, it says board policies may be altered, amended, or added to any regular meeting by a majority vote of the board, provided the change has been submitted in writing at the previous regular meeting. There, on this formulation of policies and stuff, there is no mention of the policy committee at all.
There's no legal requirement to have a policy committee.
Okay.
That is a choice that the board has made to have standing committees. So I think the board still has the power to add anything to the agenda on the regular meeting that the board
Right.
wants to, whether or not there's a committee involved.
Okay, I didn't know if on that one we should have a committee mentioned or not.
It's,
Mm.
that would be going against the provision in the law that allows the board to put anything on the agenda they want to, provided there's a majority that wants that to
Okay.
happen.
Yeah, I have no problem with it. It's,
All right,
thank you.
number 11.
So that's
So-
no change.
So for clarity on that one, just to make sure we're on the same page on that one, we're not going to take that one to the board
No,
because we're not doing anything.
we're not changing anything, no.
Okay.
011, which is number 7 on the agenda.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It-
This was developed by, do you mind if I give a quick history?
No, go ahead.
This was developed by PSBA 4 years ago, and I was on the committee for it. And this is just, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I wish it was a BOG versus a policy. They requested that all school boards consider adopting it as a policy. It's not really a policy it's a BOG, it's a guideline. And I'll be honest with you, there's some things on there. I am not going to pick this one apart because personally, I think it should be a BOG, not a policy. But
Yeah, there's really not anything to govern anything here. It's just giving you bullet points of
recommendations,
recommendations and stuff.
yeah, I think it should be a blog.
Dr. Redmond, your thought on that?
I think I like the idea of it as a policy because it communicates to the community what you all expect of each other in terms of these bullet points and everything that's in there. I think it has a completely different level of visibility than the BOGs, no matter how we try to advertise that or anything like that. This is the same thing that we have on the wall right behind you over here, John. It's exactly the same text in a different format. And so I see this as a communication from the board to the community to say, this is how we do things as a board. And
I can
again, for
I can
transparency and
understand
all
that and relate to
Yeah.
that. John, any questions on that?
Nope.
Elizabeth?
No, I mean, if that's what you, then.
I'm gonna say, let's
Yeah,
just leave it as it is.
Sure. And
Uh,
then can I just make one note?
yeah,
Okay, not to deviate off the agenda, but I did notice that a lot of school districts have policy 008.
yeah.
Ours was taken off years ago. So if there is a more recent 008, just to keep that in the back of the mind. for
What
next-
is 008?
The
It's,
organizational chart,
okay,
and there is a policy that goes with it.
It's not in drafts or anything like that. We'd have to
Yeah.
look around for someone else's model for that.
yeah, we do not have a 008.
Yeah,
Yeah, we jump right to 009.
And there's also another one, a 012. It's called policy development procedures. It's not critically important, but the 008, though, I would like you to consider putting on the agenda for next month. Thank you.
Okay. Well, we can, we can work on finding it. But we'd have to devise one and build a policy or whatever and get it added into the policies.
Well, if PSBA already has one, but I have a list of school districts and I've been visiting them, so whatever you folks find, if
Would you-
PSBA doesn't have,
Would you email that list of districts to?
hopefully I'll email the right attachment.
To myself and to Christine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
I can't do this today,
Oh, no worries.
so
Yeah, no worries.
I'm thinking Friday. Okay, thank you.
let's move on to, let me get back to my meetings here. Policy 810, transportation. When we're done here, we're gonna have a quick executive meeting on this. We have to discuss bus safety and some of the stuff going on the buses. We're getting multiple complaints, emails, issues going on. And, under delegation of responsibility, I believe it's page 2.
Mhm.
There's a line that says the building principal may suspend a student from bus transportation for disciplinary reasons, and the parent's guardian shall be responsible for the student's transportation. That's in the state legislation.
Does this, I'm so sorry, Chair. I
Go
don't
ahead.
remember, does the legislation say may or shall? I think it does say may. Did
It
anyone check
says
the link?
may.
It does, thank you.
Well, yeah, we don't want to force a principal to.
No,
suspend a
that's
student.
why, I just want to make sure.
I asked Elizabeth for an opportunity to talk to David Lindsay on this.
Mhm.
You were on vacation and, he and I get into quite a discussion on it, and he's kind of in line with what I want to do. I think we need to add to this policy something that stipulates what's going to happen if you're bullying kids on a bus or fighting or distracting the driver. There needs to be some stipulation, something like a first offense, you're off the bus for 3 days. The second offense, you're off for a week. The third offense, you're off for the rest of the semester or even the end of the year.
Mhm.
and the parents have to provide transportation. We're obligated to provide transportation, and we are, but if your kid is not behaving on the bus and causing problems, fighting, bullying, distracting, then they lose the right for that free transportation. And I think, we need to write something into the policy
I agree.
where the board is going to put their foot down and all these issues with the buses need to stop.
Or there's
And
consequences, real.
yes, there needs to be consequences
Yeah.
for it.
So AR4, policy, so 810 AR4 talks about student conduct on buses and school vehicles.
Yep.
And so I think that's where the specifics, so again, policy kind of sets the guidelines and the procedures or ARs give more specific direction on how to go about meeting those policy guidelines. So I think we could certainly tweak the discipline for violations that's on page 2, if you want to be more specific about that, but we're already outlining that.
Well, the problem with an AR is you can break an AR and there's no repercussions for doing it.
That's not true.
He's right.
So if you're not following an AR, then it follows, if an adult is not following the AR, then there's a disciplinary procedure that follows for that individual.
Yes, may I add
Okay.
something? May I add something, Chair?
Go ahead.
I did read the legislation about this, and Dr. Redmond's 1,000% correct. The difference between the BOG, the Board Operating Guidelines, and an administrative regulation, it's literally a regulation.
It's binding.
So the superintendent, if any of his folks break anything, he has the power to do X, Y, and Z because a BOG is just a recommendation to us. But
Okay,
a regulation to him that gives him the power.
then why are all these issues happening over and over and
It's not
over?
in there.
So
You brought up a great point.
So that's why I think if you want to get further into being more specific about what discipline on the bus looks like, then we need to probably tweak AR4. And so I think that should be kind of where we focus on this. And I can certainly take that to our principals and say that we need to be more specific about that and then bring a recommendation back to this group in April with changes.
My idea was to come up with something. Let the principals know what we want to do.
Mhm.
Then send a letter out to all the parents in the district. This is what's gonna happen.
Yep. That's right.
But we have to have people that are gonna follow the stipulation and make it happen.
Mhm.
For us just to write a policy and then, oh, that wasn't that bad, forget about it.
Yeah.
I want the bullying and the fighting on the buses done. I'm sick of hearing about it.
Me too.
I've been hearing about it for years.
Yep.
Now, I'm gonna stop our chat for 1 second. We have our 2 student council members here. I really would like to hear your thoughts on this.
Do you ride the bus? Have you ever ridden the bus?
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, you don't have to
That's fine,
answer. I'm
yes.
just asking.
Yeah,
Yeah, I stopped riding the bus last year when I got my driver's license, and for me it was kind of like a breath of relief because I hated riding the bus because of the behavior that was on it. Like the behavior is horrendous. Like every single bus, every single person that I talk to that rides the bus, like the worst moment of their day is going on the bus and going home.
that's what I hear.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think I agree putting in like details in the policy about behavior and consequences because I think it's a real issue. Yeah.
Thanks, Kat.
I appreciate your-
it.
I
You're
feel
on.
like
Andrew?
I'm most likely in the minority here, but I've had very good experiences on the bus. My bus is like very well behaved, but I'm again in the minority for that. But I 100% agree. I think there should be stricter regulations for administrators just to make it clear from a board's perspective that this is something we're very serious about and it can't be tolerated. And students who violate that need to be like removed without just like, oh, a slap on the wrist.
Right, because I know you guys hear from other students even what's going on.
Yeah.
And my emails are getting buried, my phone's getting buried, with issues, with bus issues. And I keep hearing from students and parents, we call, we complain, and nothing happens.
Yeah.
So it's not all the students, I know that. But if we put our foot down on it and we stop the bullying, and there needs to be a no tolerance policy. And once that no tolerance policy is in effect, it's only gonna take 3 or 4 kids to get kicked off the bus. They're gonna know we're serious.
That I also read in the legislation that the school district did not, don't quote me on this, but I don't know, it's okay. That the school district actually can start fining the parents. They can actually start fining the parents.
We don't have any jurisdiction. We can ask them for money, but we
Yeah,
can't force them to do
we
it.
can't, we
Well, I-
can't do a fine, the
Would you
court
please
would
ask-
have to, which means there has to be citations written.
Yes, it says, so if you wouldn't mind asking the solicitor, please, I haven't had a chance about that. There is legislation I read that the school district can start doing that.
Well, we need, before we start just burying this when worrying about fines and stuff, we need to establish the rules. The rules are, if you bully John on the bus, you're off the bus. If you and John are bullying somebody else, you're both off the bus.
Mhm.
Don't want to hear no excuses. Don't want to hear he looked at me cross-eyed. If there's bullying going on, somebody needs to put their foot down. And if they don't want to put their foot down, then somebody else is going to have to.
So let me
Okay.
work on that with the team, and can I bring back AR4 in a revised version
Yeah.
in April?
And then I have
Sure.
one last quick comment on that.
Go ahead, Elizabeth.
So the whole question is too, is Dr. Redmond and his team, you're gonna talk with Susquehanna Transit
Yep,
too?
they'll be
again?
part of it.
Yep, okay, good, because they're up by themselves on the bus, basically, sometimes.
Chris? Yeah, John.
I wish there was a way that we could figure out these problem people on the buses. 9
Mhm.
chances out of 10 are the same
Same
problem
group.
people that are in the school district causing the problems.
Yeah,
So you can't let them say, oh, it's okay to do it here, and then 5 minutes later you walk outside and get on a bus and think a 17-year-old down to whatever is going to change. We gotta have it consistent across the board, whether it's in school or whether it's in the bus. The bullying in this district is terrible.
I agree. And
And you hear, like you said, you get phone calls, you see letters, all the time. Nothing is being done about it.
Well, we're gonna do, it's, yeah, we're just, I think the difference is, without segueing too far, I think the big difference is, and this is not a slight, this is my observation, is that the former majority board members were very different than this current majority board members, or full board members. So,
I'm not
We're-
gonna
we're-
say anything about the old board or new
Right, I'm
board,
just saying-
because you sat on the old board.
I
So
realize
let's
that.
just drop that right now.
Yeah.
This is from this day going forward. We need to set some rules and make this policy stick.
Yep,
That's it.
We'll be back in April with a revision
And
to AR4.
I know that we're gonna hear, well, my child has an IEP or anything. If the child breaks the law, they're responsible.
Mhm. No, I feel we're all in consensus.
Because
Yep.
I'm gonna put it this way. If we don't set the rules now
Mhm.
and make that child learn through the school district, in the public, whatever, if that child doesn't learn there's rules and complications that affect that,
Consequences.
that's where I was going next, that there's consequences coming. We're not doing that child any good for them in the future. You guys understand that?
Yeah.
Because you know what? When they're out of school and they break a rule, a law, they're gonna get a ticket or end up in jail. They need to learn there's consequences now, and we're
Consistent.
not doing that.
No, I agree. It's long overdue.
We're setting our kids up for failure if they don't learn rules, regulations, responsibilities, end up in consequences now, we're setting them up for failure when they get out of school, because they're gonna turn around and say, well, I could do that in school, never got in trouble.
No, it's gonna be a huge cultural shift and I'm excited.
It
Okay?
is.
Let's move. All right.
Sorry, if you don't mind, I'd like
Yeah,
to point out
Andrew.
one thing. We had a bunch of conversations with security staff at the high school, and one thing that they pointed out was that sometimes, not obviously not all the times, but parents interpret investigations and processes as inaction, as opposed to they have rules, state laws, and district procedures that they have to follow.
Right.
Getting the bus cameras, talking to witnesses, and a lot of, they can't tell the parents, oh, we spoke to this student and they saw this. They can't tell them that because a lot of that's confidential.
Right.
It's just interpreted as, oh,
They're
they're
not
not
doing anything.
doing anything for my student.
Right, and that's,
Mhm.
yep. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's what Dr. Redmond, they are doing things,
Mhm.
but this is gonna add, I think, a little
Yeah.
more,
Mhm.
This is gonna
Power
add
to
some
it.
teeth.
Yep.
Yeah.
okay,
So
good, good.
then it's going to be up to the principal and the administration to say, here, the board set a policy. These are the rules. You don't follow it, done. I talked to David Lindsay about it, about setting up these consequences. He was all for it. He said he did not see a problem at all. It was said to me about, well, if we have to provide transportation, but when we looked at that,
It's only
it
for
even
special.
says in the legislature, we are providing it. It's not our fault that your kid is bullying and fighting.
Yeah.
So they're off the bus and
Right.
it's up to the parent to provide it.
100%.
Yep, except for special needs children.
Well,
But that's another issue, don't worry
IEP
about it.
Yes,
kids-
no.
Still can't break the laws.
No, you're absolutely correct.
So if you would bring that,
Yep,
Mhm.
yep, like I said.
go
we'll
ahead,
bring it back.
John.
One problem I see, I mean, I would love to stop bullying, whether it's in school or downtown, stop it. But we're gonna get questioned on who's enforcing it, because if little Billy says Sam called me a bad word,
They
he's
can
bullying me.
If there's a problem, they can look it up on the bus cameras.
Well, yeah, what you can see, but there's gonna be a lot of he said, she said.
Yes, there is.
You know, how can you prove that little Jimmy did what you're saying he did?
Well, if little Jimmy sucker punches somebody,
Well, yeah, I mean,
We're
if
gonna
you're
deal with
physically
it.
touching somebody, but you can
if you're
harass
pushing,
somebody without touching.
if you're pushing, shoving, pointing and getting in somebody's face, that's gonna be seen and there's gonna be other people to witness it.
Mhm.
So John, to your point, one of the things, and we're getting a bit far astray from the policy, and we can talk more later if you'd like. Through our investigation process, we try to come up with the preponderance of evidence that points us in the direction of whether or not something happened. So we don't just talk to the two students who are saying, I did it, this person did it to me. We're also talking to everyone around them, trying to figure out did it
Right.
really happen or not. So it's all part of the investigatory process. And that, again, as you pointed out, Andrew, this can be super frustrating because it takes time. We can't tell everybody what's happening and
Right.
all that sort of thing. But I talk to security and principals a lot about this is the process that we follow. And sometimes we can't give satisfaction to someone who feels like they have been wronged in some way because we can't prove it.
What's the reason then? Cause everyone here hears it and sees it all the time, but the current bullying going on in this school, nothing's ever done.
That's not
Well,
true.
That's, they do.
Not saying that nothing is being done. It's just, we can prove that that's not the case.
Yeah, it's just not to a level, we're getting to a
Well,
higher level now. so.
We're stepping up the consequences.
Yep,
The
As
rate
you
of-
read our policy right now, there are no consequences really. It's up to administration. We are putting consequences in place.
AR4 does have some, but you're asking for more specificity. I'm sorry, Kat, you were
The
saying.
rate of bullying has decreased significantly in the last 3 years. And I think that's important to note because the violence in the school has decreased like by, I would say, like 60%.
Drastically.
Drastically.
yep,
Like there's maybe one fight every 3 months
Right.
and you don't even notice it because it's not a big deal. But like last year it was there is one fight every 2 weeks. And I think that the improvements of the bullying and the violence is important to note.
It
And
is, thank you. And that's
Yep.
the beauty of it. Compared to 5 years ago, yeah, we're just keep building on what we've already
We're
built.
just gonna keep stepping it
Yep.
through.
Thank you.
Now, there's a bunch of ARs here.
Yeah.
That I was gonna tell Christine, I don't think we really need to go through them.
Yeah, the only changes that we're talking about is in AR4 where it talks about the
Yeah. number
student
12.
conduct and
Right.
what the consequences are for violation. Of the
So
rules.
we need to enforce that, put it through and move that into a policy. Does anybody have any questions on any of those ARs?
No, it's just,
Okay, then let's move on to C for discussion. Because this is something that I brought up and I would like to see it happen. And Dr. Redmond, I kind of think you'll go along with my thoughts. I met with the student council with Mr. Maddenford. And I really liked what I heard. I wish we'd had more time than 45 minutes because these two will tell you, we were getting into pretty good discussions. And I made a mention to them and I made a mention to on the work session meeting that night. I would like to see one or two students, and it doesn't have to be the same ones, but out of their group of student council, somebody get set on to each and every committee we have.
That's what we're doing.
yeah.
We started that
Right,
late last year and the beginning of this year.
but I want to see that happen, but allow them to have feedback back with us. Is somebody's phone ringing?
Yeah.
John?
Well, that's up to the committee chair.
Right. I think we need to do that, and I would like to see one or two of them even set on board meetings and set up with the board.
may I make a comment, please?
Yeah, Elizabeth.
About 4 years ago, when I was on the policy committee, we looked into it, and I believe we have one line. I forget the number of the policy, but we have one line in there. Student XY may sit on a board. And it was put in there because State College, I believe it is, has it in their policy. Now, I'll be honest with you. I feel at this point, because we have so many new board members, we have so much training to go through. I love the idea of a school representative on a committee. Absolutely. And if you feel more comfortable in twos, I have no problem with twos. With the understanding though, that we have to put something in the policy so there's guidelines, just basic guidelines.
Well, that's why I'm
Right,
bringing it
no.
up.
I agree with that, but as far as going into a work session or a voting session, we love it when you're in the audience, but sitting at the table, that's only for governance. This is recommendations, but this is governance and work. So not sitting actually in a governance meeting at the table. So if you would like, or if anyone else wants to do it, I can get examples of other policies that I've seen over the years where they allow student government representation on committees. And they have a voice, they literally have a voice at the table. I think it's wonderful.
Well, then I would say if you're gonna do that, set a first table up there and reserve it for student council.
I think,
Make them feel a little important because their voices are,
Well, they can sit at the table, right?
I believe that the students are capable and certainly have the capacity to act in a governance role.
I do
And so
too.
I would love to see them as members of the board who, of course, can't vote because that's outside of the law, but certainly voice on all of the governance issues that are in front of the board
Exactly.
in the regular work session meetings. And they could, even in the voting meetings, suggest to the board, this is how we would vote given the opportunity. I think
Yes.
that's the way we should have our students participating in the governance of our district.
Okay.
I listened to Andrew's voice on a very important vote.
Yes,
And I think that they should have some input also. We can learn from our students. We don't know it all.
well, I still feel very strongly that until, we'll do this as a trial, let's get the policy written and adopted. And then as we move forward, But until there's guidelines or something, I feel very strongly that, and this is nothing personal, but I feel very strongly, our board is so new, they have to go through so much training. And to really understand governance, you have to have a functioning committee. And the functioning committee is where a lot of the governance happens. Just, so I think the learning experience is actually in the committee, so that's how I feel about it.
Well, I want to include the students in it. I've wanted to do that for a long time. How do you two feel? I mean, I know what we said in our meeting.
Yeah. I feel that students could provide very valuable insight into how a modern school works and the effects that school board decisions have, whether negative or positive, have on student life and staff life, because we work with teachers obviously every day and we know how it is
Right.
for them as well.
And the only thing I would say is, we would need to decide, I don't think they should set in an executive meeting.
Well, they
Yeah,
can't.
no, they
Right,
can't, right?
they
do
can't.
that, Yeah. So
Uh,
the policy, I think that you were referring to, Elizabeth, is 004 under membership. The last
Right.
line of that says, under student representation, the board authorizes student representation on the board in order to facilitate effective communication and to provide an opportunity for students to participate in school governance. So our policy already
Already
has
says it.
Yeah, it already says it. Mhm.
Well, then there we go. Then I would say that, Dr. Redmond, you work with that council group
Mhm.
and assign one or two to each and every committee meeting when they are. The only question I have, and the ones that are later in the evening, how are they gonna get to them?
Zoom.
Well, they could Zoom.
Yeah, you could, don't have to be in, Zoom is completely,
Mhm.
Like
option.
Andrew, you
Yeah.
drive, right?
I don't drive it. No,
Oh, okay.
no, I'm a freshman.
Administrator, yeah.
You do.
Yes.
yeah, but Zoom, Yeah.
Okay.
Or if parents,
Yeah,
if
my
your
parents
usually
have a
drive
friend
me.
Or something like that, yeah, because your
Yeah.
mom brings you to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I've
your-
already
your
been
mom or
attending.
dad bring you.
Yeah.
But I think it's, if we don't include them in our meetings and start letting them talk and let's hear what they say, I think we're doing a disservice to everybody.
Yeah, I would love to see a student seat at the table.
I would too,
On
and
this
I
day.
told them the other day when I talked to them, I'll put a table or a chair right here.
no. Well, all right, I have 004 here with all our notes from the years. I'll start working on this one for next time.
It's already there.
No, I realize that, but I also think that I feel strongly about this. And like I said, I think this should be a trial. And also I think the chair should have a say-so in it. If the chair, for some reason, the chair may or may not want, student representation and voice at the table, I think the board should be allowed to discuss that and the chair should have a right to, for whatever reason. So if we discuss this
I
at the
think
work
if we
session,
don't include the students, we're telling them that their voice doesn't
I-
matter.
I agree with you, but I'll be honest with you. I think the board should have an opportunity to discuss this as a board. And if they so choose that the policy should read that the chair of the committee has the right, one way or another, but that the full board the board majority may say, no, we don't need that. The chair can forget about the chair. But I still think we make recommendations, okay? That's what this
Mhm.
committees do. We don't stipulate what's gonna happen, okay? So just so we understand that I'll make sure this gets on the agenda.
Frank, I'm in 004 right now.
It's the
Where's
last
that?
line,
Huh?
of the policy.
And in our notes that I wrote here, here, you can actually see, over the years. What does that say, Dr. Redmond? The board may authorize, that's what we talked about last year. The board may authorize student representation on the board.
Right, and the opinion last time this came up was to leave it as it was, but the board authorizes student representation.
We never finished 004, it got stopped. So
Okay.
let's put it on the agenda for March. And the board
Not
can,
March.
April, I'm so sorry.
Mhm.
We'll put it on the agenda for the work session in April. Let the board publicly talk about it. I can't speak for the whole board, but I'd be shocked if the majority of the board doesn't like this idea. But again, Committees make recommendations.
I think it
I-
was on the agenda for the voting, isn't it? This time around?
Oh, I think we did add it. I did add it because you asked me to. That's right. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. It's on tomorrow, Thursdays.
It's on tomorrow's
Yep.
agenda.
Yep, that's great. Thank you for reminding me.
No worries.
Okay, does that sound
When it comes
reasonable?
up, we're gonna explain what we think about to the board members
Mm-hmm,
and they can vote on it.
yep.
You guys good with that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that sounds fair.
All right.
Thank you.
Back to the meeting. I think we're about done.
Can we loop
Uh,
around?
any public comment or nobody signed up?
Correct.
All right.
Christine, did you have a question about
Yeah,
something?
I just want to, question, policy 810, what was the outcome of that? The transportation policy?
Dr. Redmond is going to,
Number 9.
I know the AR.
Yeah, AR
yeah,
four, but there is a change in the legislation around 810 itself.
yes,
And that's to some clarification on transportation for students not attending KCSD.
Are we just going to bring that one back to the April policy committee meeting? Because there was that new PNN that we had spoke about.
yeah. Let's bring that back to the April meeting
Okay,
because that was updated at the
Mhm.
last minute.
yeah.
And
We
to
had
be
our
honest, I haven't even had a chance to read that yet.
Okay,
But that was just a day or two ago.
Yep.
correct.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, more homework.
So
Good, good.
we'll bring that back.
And all the other ARs for 810?
We don't need them.
Yep.
Okay,
Just AR4.
Dr.
is-
Redmond's gonna work on
Just-
AR4 and
sorry.
come back to us and let us
Just-
know what's going
just
on.
wanted clarification.
So at this time right now, future meeting, time and dates, I think that's already laid out. We're a monthly.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's in there as April 8th is our next
Yeah.
scheduled.
Yeah.
All
that's-
right. So I'm gonna call this meeting to adjourn. And we're gonna have an executive meeting with the 4 of us. Real quick to go over something on transportation. And, on some, incident reports. And thank you two for coming.
Thank
Of
you.
course.
We'll see you soon, I'm sure.